In our next show, we'll introduce you to a man who uses the natural environment to enhance a tranquil environment that his motel guests long for. Here is a peek.
When you come to Pineville, you get to experience what the island is all about, what nature is all about. We bring you in touch with the animals. That's why we have the petting zoo at the Pineville Motel.
That and so much more next month with Island Life.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, a labor executive gives details on the country's journey from minimum wage to livable wage. And an update on those suspicious skeletal remains found in East Grand, Bahama. Plus, friends of the prisoner found dead in his cell speak out. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Simone Davis. Thank you so much for watching. Is the Bahamas on track to phase into a livable wage for private sector and government workers? That question arose after it was announced that the country's minimum wage increased from $2.10 to $2.60 earlier this month. Tonight, an executive in the Department of Labor, Quintin LaRota, answers that question while explaining his role in the process. Here's that report. Earlier this month, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis announced the rise in minimum wage from $210 to $260, which sparked the conversation of whether or not the increase is enough, and some questioning how the government arrived at that figure. Well, an executive manager in the Labor Department, Quintin LaRota, explains the process that led to the increase.
We did the research looking at how people come up with minimum wage and what's the best minimum wage to implement, what are the factors and indices that you should use. The research was extensive, and based on that research, we made our recommendations to the government. And we were, during our research and also the consultation done by the chair with other groups, we found that almost everybody across the board saw that there was a need to increase the minimum wage.
Now, since the Prime Minister's announcement, there has been some concerns that the increase could lead to price gouging in stores or companies possibly downsizing because they can't afford to increase workers' pay. LaRota says the NTC and the government has evaluated every aspect of the increase and its impact on the private sector and government employees.
In our research, we found that about 25% of the workforce will be impacted by minimum wage. And so after 25% of the workforce, a huge percentage of that, between 15 and 18%, are government employees. And so we also saw that the impact on the private sector would not be tremendous. So there was no reason not to move hastily, to have it implemented. And we thought this was the right time.
Bahamians have debated about minimum wage versus livable wage with the state of the country's economy and have questioned the possibility of another increase in the near future. LaRota confirms that the NTC is working closely with the government, and this increase is only the first step in the direction of an economic livable wage.
The increase in minimum wage was only a first step in heading towards what is a livable wage. The University of the Bahamas has done some work on a livable wage for Grand Bahama and New Providence in particular, and we have gotten that research from them. Besides some of the other things that we have done, it's the livable wage and all the metrics involved are extensive, and so the work on that continues.
Well, excitement continues to build as the new Raleigh, North Carolina to Freeport route is just 2 weeks away. Executives at Bahamasair now working in both cities to ensure that residents are aware of the new flight and what both cities have to offer. Our Aja Quant has the details in this story.
Grand Bahamians now have more flight options when it comes to traveling to the United States, as much anticipation continues to build surrounding Bahamasair's Raleigh, North Carolina to Freeport route. Sales manager with Bahamasair, Wilfred Mulling, says they have been on the ground since July, adding that residents in the city are excited for the upcoming flight. Mullings also notes that Grand Bahama and Raleigh has a rich history, and the airline is working towards restoring that connection.
Grand Bahama and Raleigh always had a connection, and Bahamasair saw the need to bring more airlift into Raleigh, from Raleigh into the Bahamas, and which island better to do it than Grand Bahama. This is going to be a successful route because of all the market intelligence that we've been collecting over the past months.
And on the second day of the Global Sales Mission in Raleigh, North Carolina, tourism officials, the Ministry for Grand Bahama, and Bahamasair were all able to meet with the president at Raleigh-Durham Airport Authority, Michael Landguth, who Mullings expresses is very excited for the national flag carrier to be a part of their services.
The significance of Bahamasair coming into Raleigh, we're going to be, they have about 5 to 6 international flights directly, and Bahamas is the only one who's going to be flying out of Raleigh direct into the Bahamas, or what we call the Caribbean. So it's significant, and they're excited just as much as we are excited to start the service.
Meanwhile, for the island of Grand Bahama, Mullings notes that there are a number of activities they will be hosting to bring more excitement to Grand Bahamians for the upcoming November 17th inaugural flight.
We're starting our aggressive marketing campaign in Grand Bahama. We're going to be doing some activities, some events where we're going to be inviting the local stakeholders to come in so that they can get familiar with the product over here, and some of the local patrons over there. Like, for example, next week, Friday, we're going to be having our Copper Night at the Players Lounge, so everybody is welcome to come and join us. You're going to have the opportunity to win a round-trip ticket or two to Raleigh.
The direct flight cost starts at $488, and the sales manager encourages all persons to book now. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Aja Quant.
Thanks, Azure. In other news, the saga continues into the investigation of skeletal remains found in East Grand Bahama. Tonight, persons who have engaged the services of the man allegedly responsible for dumping the skeletal remains in East Grand Bahama are sharing their experience, while members in the mortuary industry speak on the importance of having this industry regulated. Our Ramiko Knowles joins us now live in studio with an update. Ramiko?
Illegal dumping of human remains in a body bag in the East Grand Bahama community. Residents have taken to social media to express their disgust over the unfortunate situation that has left many with more questions than answers. While police have remained tight-lipped on the progress of their investigation, our ZNS News sources say an alleged unlicensed mortician is assisting police in this case. The man's business practices now coming to the forefront as some family members who trusted him with their loved ones are questioning whether or not their loved ones were really cremated or if there was a proper burial process. Among them, Judy Charlton says hiring the man allegedly responsible for dumping human remains in bushes to bury her sister was a mistake. She says her family did not receive anything they paid for.
We never got no flowers. We never get no signing book. I had to pay for my obituary 8 o'clock in the morning. We're supposed to get chairs, tents, table, everything. We got nothing.
This is a copy of the contract between Charlton's family and the alleged unlicensed mortician. It details everything she says her sister did not receive, from the booklets down to the precise casket they paid for. And if that isn't bad enough, Charlton says her sister's body was not embalmed before burial.
When we was putting on the makeup on her face, the skin was peeling off. Nothing was done to her other than out the morgue into the box. We had to put the makeup on ourselves. He took my niece them into the morgue, in the old morgue at the Rand. And he took them there 2 o'clock in the morning. They couldn't do it. They had to run out there because my sister was actually disfigured.
In April of this year, her family filed a complaint to the Grand Bahama Health Services Administrator. It states that they hired the alleged funeral director to handle her sister's burial, but they were not aware that he did not have a physical funeral home. The family says they are not confident that the body they received is that of their sister. Over in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Matilda Sanders and her family hired the alleged director to bury their uncle, and the experience is much like the Charlton's family.
Our uncle was dressed at the clinic in Marsh Harbor. He was not embalmed. We received no vehicles for the service would be paid for. We received no floral arrangements for the coffin, no obituaries. What was most embarrassing, no vehicle to carry the deceased to and from the church to the gravesite to be buried. We had to borrow a guest vehicle from the service to carry the deceased at the graveside.
CEO of Evergreen Mortuary, Donnelly Penn Mackey, says for far too long they have had to deal with unscrupulous people that have no qualification in the industry or proper business license to operate, and it needs to stop.
You know, it's so unethical and disgraceful what we see happening, and hopefully we will get some resolve soon as it pertains to what is going on in this industry, whereas the government can finally regulate and give us some guidelines and get rid of some of these persons who have no qualifications to operate in such a sacred profession.
Now, both families who have spoken are encouraging anyone who suspect that their loved ones did not receive proper burial should demand closure through a proper police investigation. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Back to you in studio.
Thanks so much, Ramiko. Well, following the news of Kenzie Cooper, a 51-year-old mentally challenged man who was remanded to Fox Hill Prison and later found unconscious in his cell, a local resident in his community is speaking with our Aja Quant on how the community has been impacted by his death and what needs to be done to avoid another unfortunate incident like this in the future.
This is the area Kenzie Cooper frequented before being remanded to the Department of Corrections in the nation's capital. A local resident from this area, who is also an advocate for persons with disabilities, is speaking out, calling this loss a major blow to the Mayfield Park community. High-spirited, very cheerful, and artistic is what Howard Bowe describes Kenny as. And that is why he's speaking up on mental illness, the fact that it is a disability, and the importance of understanding how to deal with mentally challenged persons.
Persons in the general public need to be made aware that this is another form of disability. Okay, and I'm here to speak on his behalf and on behalf of the Mayfield Park community. We felt this as a serious blow.
On October 12, police officials released a report that a 51-year-old male inmate on remand was found unconscious inside a cell following an altercation with inmates. The family later identifying him as Kenny Cooper, alleging in a statement that he was beaten to death by 2 other inmates in the same cell block. Bowe says when he first heard of what happened, he was very disturbed.
Persons with mental disabilities or mental challenges are just like babies. They are not cognizant of what they are doing. So in terms of that, we have to first understand it from that perspective in order to deal with them in a more compassionate way. I don't feel personally that Kenny should have been in a facility whereby he was among persons who were inmates who have their right state of mind. Okay, he was a special person and he should have been treated in a more special manner.
Currently, there is only one facility that accommodates mentally challenged persons on Grand Bahama, which is the Dye Ward at the Rand Memorial Hospital. However, Bo says the island is in need of another facility to assist persons struggling with mental illness and create awareness on this issue.
We need to take things more serious in this country, implement laws and policies that is going to protect us, because even in storm preparedness, these type of things, we are not included in the planning. This is a major concern.
Now, Bo is making a clarion call to government officials, noting that something needs to be done following this horrific incident. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Adra Quant.
Now, our ZNS News team spoke with the Minister of National Security, the Honorable Wayne Monroe, who confirms that an investigation is underway into this case. Meanwhile, a team of officers while on patrol conducted a road check in Holmes's Rock at 11 o'clock last night. They stopped a vehicle driven by a female. Officers informed her of their suspicion and conducted a search of her vehicle and discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana and marijuana seeds. The dangerous drugs were found inside the driver's door panel and also in a backpack. The drugs were confiscated and the resident of West End was taken into custody. And a male was arrested and suspected of marijuana, which was confiscated in a separate incident on Tuesday, October 25th. Reports indicate that a team of officers while on patrol in the area of Fiddler's Green stopped a brown Chevrolet Sebring vehicle. The driver was informed of the officer's suspicion, conducted a search of the vehicle, and discovered a quantity of suspected marijuana inside the vehicle and in his pants pocket. The man was arrested and taken into police custody. Investigations continue into both incidents. And from drug addict to pastor and mentor, in this report, our Raven Davis speaks candidly with a local pastor who gives a glimpse into his troubled past. He was thrown out of school, treated like an outcast, and grappled with feelings of inadequacy, all stemming from substance abuse. After some 30 years clean, he's now spreading the message of hope to young men and women facing similar challenges. Here's that report.
He saw the best in me. It is a story of survival, one Pastor Collins Claire Roberts would not be alive to tell had it not been for the transformative power of God. Having grown up without a father, at a young age, Claire turned to marijuana and eventually started using cocaine.
And so I fall in the hands of crack cocaine for 12 years of my life, off and on crack and in the system, in and out, been locked up a few times and just doing my own thing, had no direction, had nobody to look up to, because, once you don't have that father figure, it kind of should mess with your mind.
He says he came from what most would deem a good home, but the absence of a male figure influenced life changes that brought him to his lowest.
There's a time when I will sell everything I have, just to get a hit. I said to myself, I might as well just take my life out. One time I take a corned beef can, I cut my wrist. Just won't even bleed.
But the turning point would one day come, as Claire was brutalized by 3 drug dealers. He describes it as a harrowing experience that nearly cost him his life.
When struck my leg, my hands, I don't want to break a Guinness bottle, and they get the cut inside of my throat, left me for dead. And they had to rush me to Nassau on emergency flight. But before that happened, I just cursed with my mother that Saturday, and she said, "You can die bad."
Doctors also giving a grim prognosis, but God had other plans. Claire says he heard a voice beckoning him to give his life to Christ, and that he did. Nowadays, he's traveling, visiting marginalized communities, and pastoring this church to spread the message of hope.
And there's so many young men here in Grand Bahama that are bound, whether it's crack cocaine, whether it's marijuana or alcohol, whatever it is, they are bound. And so, God needs somebody to really relate to them who've been there. You can only talk about if you've been there. I always knew that God has chosen me for such a time as this. And so today I go back There are times when I'll go back into the gang areas. I'll go back in the ghetto areas. I will carry them food. I will minister to them that God is able. To saying God deliver me, could deliver them.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
When we come back, we will tell you how teachers of a local school found a new way of teaching and how this is helping in the academic success of their students. The details of that story and a whole lot more, including the latest in sports, when the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, returns.
Come on down now. Come on down now.
The Festival of Pizzas has arrived at Pizza Hut Freeport. Try our chicken margarita, grilled chicken Florentine, veggie deluxe, and the carbonara. Did we mention curry chicken pizza? You can also order a large specialty pizza and get a small one-topping pizza free. Pizza Hut Freeport. Dine-in and delivery. Call us at 352-9191. Pizza Hut Freeport.
Don't miss the 25% off sale at Park & Shop. 25% off sale this October 27th, 28th, and 29th, excluding underwear and red tag items. The race returns. The GBPA Conkman Triathlon, November 5th at Taino Beach. Register now at conkmantriathlon.com. Bodied by Johnny presents the 2022 Breast Cancer Awareness Run and Walk from the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. October 29th for all ages, starting at 6 a.m. Come and see the cabinets and countertops in stock now at Specialty Kitchen and Bath. Number 16 Oak Street, phone 688-9661.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet's so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine's so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine's so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
And it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed, totally free. Link up with BTC.
Welcome to Progressive Insurance Brokers Limited. We specialize in life, health, and wealth plans. So we do have retirement plans that we can outlay. If you want to retire in a certain amount of years, we can say, okay, this is the amount of monies that you have to set aside. We also have an endowment plan that if you want to have a certain amount of monies at a certain age, that's also another plan. Some Bahamians, they set aside monies for their children education plan. So we have educational plan. You can also have a family plan where you can have husband, wife, and children on one plan. And we also offer plans for companies. So for their employees, there are different types of plans. They are tailor-made. We are located at the Executive Office Suite, number 7. Our telephone contacts are 352-2273, 688-2273, 802-7874, or you can email us at progressiveinsuranceBrokersLTD@gmail.com.
We show affection for the people who have breast cancer and that we would like to help them through their journey. We will make it through it. We should never give up and always have faith.
The Bible says that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love and of a sound mind. Be encouraged. Seek God.
Happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month, everybody.
Happy Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A few teachers at Sister Mary Patricia Russell Junior High School have found a new way of teaching. The educators created an authentic and easier application for students and teachers to learn their course outlines. Jolanda Thompson reports.
The teachers paired in tools created and published textbooks in subject areas of math, religious knowledge, and general science. They all say that as they witness the strengths and weaknesses of their students, they have found the materials they were using to be difficult for their understanding. However, they found a solution to the problem using their own personal notes for a simpler way of teaching. Science teacher Jacqueline Williams Argyle says that as teachers they usually have so much sources to consult for the correct information. Therefore, she decided to pile her own notes and create a textbook.
So there's a general science textbook, general science workbook, and they work hand in hand. And then I did a general science for grade 8, general science for grade 9 textbook.
Senior master and now teacher Callie Theok worked along with his co-worker Mrs. Armley, and together they produced a religion textbook and workbook, which has been effective in the low-stream classes. Theok says that in the beginning of his teaching, using the materials was a bit strenuous. However, he along with Armley found an easier way to educate.
The top set initially, and so I said I need something that's going to help these students, and so along with what Ms. Armley did and I did, we were able to get 96% passes with that particular class.
Kenesha Lewis and Ariel Major designed a 3-part series math book created for parents and students alike to thoroughly understand and prepare for national exams. The book is said to be a broken down version of the math BJC syllabus.
In the Bahamian education system, many of our textbooks are not tailored to our culture and to our community. So we wanted to provide something that the students could kind of relate to, as well as see things, because they don't really know about trains and stuff like that, but they know about catching the bus or catching a jitney from here to there. And so it makes it fun and more interactive for the students.
These teachers are saying that their textbooks and workbooks are published for teachers and students to utilize, and it's an effort of assisting both educators, parents, and students to properly understand and facilitate subjects that may be tough to comprehend. The textbooks and workbooks can be found at Sister Mary Patricia Russell Junior School head office. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson.
Thanks, Jolanda. Your check on sports is up next with Shane Stubbs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Shane Stubbs, and welcome to Sports. The Freeport Container Port's Health, Wellness, and Safety Basketball Tournament was certainly a lot of fun. Let's take a look at the highlights. Day 1 of the Island Luck Cares Tip-Off Basketball Classic was filled with highlights from its top teams. The Sunland Stingers rolled to a 54-27 victory over the 8 Mile Rock Blue Jays. Here's Denaj Kelly and Jordan Saunders on how they felt about the win.
It feels amazing, you know. Last year we had won the championship, but this game, our team, we came out. We didn't have a pretty good start. We feeling really confident, even though at the start we didn't get as a start as we wanted to, but at the second we kind of picked it up and get better, and I just have to trust my teammates so that help me get the job done.
The Tabernacle Falcons had no issue taking care of the Bishop Michael Eldon Warriors in their 41-5 win.
We feel really good coming out today, you know. Long tournament. We just want to get a feel of the game. Get ready for tomorrow on Friday against the bigger teams.
And in the final game of the night, the St. George's Jaguars defeated Study Hall Academy 39-20. The action continues Friday afternoon starting at 12 p.m. over at the St. George's Gymnasium. And lastly in sports, we hear from Mako Aquatics head coach Trevano McPhee on how he feels about the merger of his club and the YMCA Wave Runners, now known as Mako Aquatics Freeport.
And this merger creates a lot more opportunity, a lot more exposure for swimmers. So we're really excited to be a part of this. They'll be able to travel to Nassau. That's one of our goals, to get them more involved with Nassau training, obviously the 50-meter pool, training at the aquatic center, and doing more swimming with the Nasuvians coming into Freeport and training here.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a quick update on sports. I'm Shane Stubbs. Be safe and be great.
Sandals, accessories, and handbags. Visit Steppin' Out, now at 2 locations, Old Sam's Plaza, Freeport, and Top of the Hill, Mackey Street, Nassau. Steppin' Out, when you want to put your best foot forward.
Island Bedding has the biggest summer sale going on right now. Special, special, special. Comforters, mattress pads, sheets, toppers, and best of all, mattress. 35% off, 45% off, 50% off. Oh my goodness! Special, people!
Digital bidding for government contracts is now better than ever. All business owners are encouraged to register on the new and improved e-procurement and supplies registry system to access all government contracts. Never miss another opportunity to grow your business. Registration takes just 5 minutes and gives you instant access to notifications of business opportunities and the ability to submit bids to the Bahamas government. Want to learn more? Visit moffenders.gov.bs and register today.
Hi, I'm Wes. I'd like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I would like to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Hi, I want to put some shoes on your feet.
Let us put shoes on your feet.
The coconut got this, cocoa skin driven madness, juiciness ice the back this, sweet like a sugar in a dripping like ice honey, addict, all of my love me, sweet like a sugar in a watch it go ba ba ba, 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 sweet like a sugar in a
new clear platinum flavor, flavored beers with a kick of rum, make it platinum.
Hey there, I'm D'Amico Nesbitt, and I'm here at the Fitness Connection, and today I'm going to give you 2 superfoods that are going to help with your overall health. Let's get right into it. Superfood number 1 is sea moss. Now, sea moss has over 90% of the vitamins and minerals that your body needs. That means it's going to help with everything. Sea moss is going to give you more energy. It can help with weight loss. It's going to help with your heart health. But more famously, it helps to get rid of mucus in the body, which is going to help to boost your immune system and keep you optimized and healthy. Superfood number 2 is beets. Beets is known as the circulation superfood. So what it does, it helps your body produce more nitrous oxide, which helps with blood flow, which is going to lower your blood pressure, give you more energy, and help with your overall heart health. And if you're interested in any of the supplements mentioned, we have them available at the Fitness Connection. We have a location in the Raven Mall and 2 in Nassau. Stop by and check us out.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Randy Gardner, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We are wishing you a happy birthday, and we do hope that you enjoy. Well, that's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of the entire ZNS News team, I'm Simone Davis. Thank you for watching, but be sure to stay tuned as the Bahamas Tonight continues.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, full repayment pending for PM's controversial trip. August pulls in revenue uptake. A patriot and patriarch remembered. And in sports, rowers wanted. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
ZNS News is linked up by BTC. Whether it's chatting, gaming, content creating, or working smart to get things done, link up to stay connected with BTC.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lopinder, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. 1 week after returning home and only a day after hoping to put the issue to rest, the Prime Minister's controversial trip to Bermuda still leading to questions as evidenced during today's Office of the Prime Minister briefing. Press Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Clint Watson, at the time reiterating the position that Bahamians will receive a full accounting of the trip. The issue sparking fierce criticism from opposition leader Michael Pintard, who accused the government of commingling government business with that of his party, charging further that this is against the law. When questioned, Watson, however, could not speak to this. The Prime Minister yesterday promised during House of Assembly proceedings that the government will be repaid for the full travel expenses.
We're still waiting on the final figures to come in, and that's why the Prime Minister would have said yesterday, whatever is owed, the Progressive Liberal Party will pay as the bill comes in. What you would have seen paid, the check issued, would have been for the airline, and so they wait the bill for the hotel. He is instructed for the Progressive Liberal Party to pay that as well, and so whatever the figures are, he said that in the House yesterday he will release them as they come in, and he's made aware of them. He'll release them to the Bahamian people.
Watson also indicating that the full cost of the Bermuda trip will be released at a later date.
It was an official visit to meet with the Premier. Prime Minister, upon seeing also a part of the invitation, was to speak at a political party conference, automatically said, okay, well, this is going to happen. I don't want this to be a government expenditure if I'm going to speak at a political party. So upon leaving, he left on a Wednesday, returned the following day on a Thursday. His instructions were to have the Progressive Liberal Party carry the tab for this trip because we're going to be speaking to political convention. It's not an official duty if you're speaking to political convention, even though there were other items that he would have done in visiting with the Premier, visiting with the Cabinet, that would have been official. He made the decision, just for full transparency, to have the PLP carry that tab.
Well, as the cost of the Prime Minister's trip to Bermuda continues to dominate headlines, Bermuda's Progressive Labour Party is boasting in a letter to the editor of a local daily of the Honourable Philip Davis, following in the footsteps of Sir Lyndon Pinling, having addressed the Progressive Labour Party's conference, visiting its Governor General and the resting place of its former leaders. Bermuda's Labour Party and the Progressive Liberal Party both started in the late 40s with ideas from several Caribbean students at the university in London. Among them, Sir Lyndon and Lewis Brown of Bermuda. This led to the PLP's formation in 1953 and Bermuda's Labour Party 10 years later. A delegation from Bermuda attended Sir Lyndon's funeral back in 2000. The letter concluded that the Bahamas and Bermuda are two countries, inseparable, one family, one party. Well, in news from the Senate, a bill the government sees as fundamental to remedying the missteps of the former administration that led to the OECD regarding the Bahamas as non-compliant, debated in the upper chamber. Taking the lead on an amendment to the Automatic Exchange of Financial Account Information Act, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, the Honorable Ryan Pinder, noted that the bill follows an agreement that the Bahamas would implement strategies to correct deficiencies the OECD identified in peer review 2020-2021. Castigating the former government, the Attorney General stressed that while it was aware of those deficiencies, the Minister administration failed to address them. He expressed hope, though, that the government will have all the non-compliant elements reviewed in the shortest period. Removing the Bahamas from the European Union's blacklist, equally important.
We are committed to closing all remaining gaps expeditiously and to seek a redetermination of our status in the shortest possible time, again, remedying the comedy of errors of the prior administration. Madam President, to give you some context, the deficiencies of the European Union that they identified primarily lie in the reporting portal and the methodology that was put in place. The former F&M government looked to put the substance reporting framework in the Department of Inland Revenue. This method, Madam President, was ineffective and presented many problems with the actual administration of the reporting itself.
As for where the Bahamas stands with complying with the FATF's 40 recommendations on anti-money laundering, Pinder reiterated that today the country is compliant with 18 recommendations and largely compliant with another 20. The re-rating evaluation takes place at the CFATF plenary meetings next month.
The Bahamas government is cautiously optimistic that it will achieve a re-rating for recommendations 8 and 15, which would result in the Bahamas being compliant or largely compliant in 40 of the 40 recommendations by the Financial Action Task Force. Madam President, to put this in a little bit of context, if we are to achieve, like we hope to, our 40 for 40 for FATF recommendations, we will only be the second country in this hemisphere, behind the Cayman Islands, to achieve such goals.
The dollars and cents of how August shaped up outlined in the latest summary report, with figures showing favorable news on the economic front. Our Altavis Munnings has the details.
Government revenues up for the month of August 2022, showing an increase of $17 million. That's 9.4% to $197.8 million compared to the previous year. Finance officials attribute the hike largely to an increase in revenue collection from international trade and transaction taxes of $12.4 million, $5.2 million in other taxes on goods and services, $5.9 million in sale of goods and services, and $3.9 million in value-added tax receipts. However, month over month, revenues decreased by 24% or $62.6 million, largely due to seasonal trends of lower VAT receipts totaling $50.6 million. And that's for August relative to July, as domestic consumption eases with more summer travel. Total expenditure also increased in August by 6.9% to $15.3 million, and that's a total of $237.4 million compared to the previous year. It's owing to increased outlays on the use of goods and services, now at $10.2 million, and $12.9 million in subsidies. Finance officials acknowledge, though, that as economic activity further trends to pre-COVID levels, COVID-19 specific social assistance payments lowered to $9.7 million. And compared to this year, July, August 2022 expenditure increased by 8.4% to $18.4 million, mostly due to additional disbursements for the acquisition of non-financial assets at a cost of $21.3 million. Government's fiscal position for August 2022 resulted in a $39.7 million deficit and an increase in the net debt position by $8 million. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Altavis Munnings.
Still to come, imposters, not the only concern for funeral directors. Details of that and other stories when the Bahamas Tonight continues after the break.
Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
It has the looks, the style, the performance. Your new car is everything you always dreamed of. Now it's here. Commonwealth Bank was happy to help put you behind the wheel with a new car loan at a competitive rate and fast, friendly approval. It's a service that just comes naturally to us, just like how love of tradition comes naturally to you. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
When it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
Mealtime rules. Don't serve yourself first. Do not eat with your mouth open. Don't rest your elbows on the table. Don't make noise when eating. Does not apply when enjoying KFC buckets. When we bucket together, we are as we really are.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
Who's behind a major drug bust at the Arawak container port? The fundamental question police are asking tonight, and one they hope to have answered much sooner than later. It all unfolded just before 5 this morning when a team of officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit, the K-9 Unit, and the Bahamas Customs searched a vehicle freighter and discovered 53 packages of suspected cocaine. The drugs clocking in at an estimated street value of just over $1 million. Up to news time, no arrest had been made in connection with the incident. Investigations are ongoing. Meantime, Operation Ceasefire officers confiscated some 15 pounds of suspected marijuana in the area of Balls Alley early Thursday afternoon. Police tell us officers spotted a suspicious-looking man walking through a tracked road. Upon seeing the officers, the suspect ran and was able to evade police, but not for long. He was found and arrested. The street value of the drugs in this matter, an estimated $15,000. We can also tell you the hunt's on for 2 armed robbers wearing blue hooded jackets who approached a businessman in the parking lot of a financial institution on East Bay Street around 1 o'clock Thursday. The robbers reportedly brandished a handgun and demanded the victim's briefcase with an undisclosed amount of cash, a cell phone, and checkbooks before running off in the direction of Daswell Street. Now, as an investigation into these incidents continue, the police force strongly urges the public to be aware of their surroundings at all times, especially as the holiday season approaches. While deploying a team of Bahamian police officers to the Turks and Caicos Islands may have ruffled the feathers of some here at home, but a TCI-based attorney is praising their work. Certified public accountant Drexel Seymour penned a letter to the Turks and Caicos Sun acknowledging the dramatic decrease in crime in the Twin Island territory since Royal Bahamas Police Force officers landed there last month. He touted no reports of shootings or murders for 2 consecutive weekends, the arrest of 7 individuals at the dockyard, TCI criminals now in fear of police, capturing a wanted Bahamian man there, and essentially making Turks Islanders more comfortable at home. The attorney even suggests extending the police officers' stay there or implementing multiple short-term arrangements with the Bahamas government. From the courts, a judge has granted $10,000 bail to a family of 4 who owned a pack of dogs that killed a man earlier this year. Prosecutors did not object to bail for 20-year-old Avante Richards, 39-year-old Vanria Richards, 28-year-old Rashad Timothy, and 37-year-old Van Johnson. However, reporting conditions are attached. The defendants are accused of the death of 61-year-old Anthony Swan, who was found dead on Palm Tree Avenue with multiple dog bite marks during the early morning hours of August 27th. Court papers allege that the 3 pit bulls and a pot cake belonging to the defendants mauled Swan to death. Well, no one to be spared once Bahamas Power and Light's fuel price hike kicks in next month, and that includes the local mortuary business. Funeral Directors Association President Kirsch Ferguson spoke to the issue during an interview with our news team.
We are operating a labor-intensive business, which means we're normally in-house most of the time. Unlike other jurisdictions where we don't necessarily do refrigeration, our cost is still going to be much higher to operate based on increases in electricity. We're here to provide a service, and however that happens, we do our best to accommodate the general public.
A state-recognized funeral for a man hailed as a great Bahamian patriot, religious leader, and patriarch of many. Altavis Munnings has the details in this next report.
His achievements are many. Educator, activist, freedom fighter, political pioneer, the country's oldest apostolic father, Andros's longest-serving Christian Council president, a husband of 65 years, father, grandfather, and powerful patriarch. Transformation Ministries International's Ellis James Farrington's legacy will never be forgotten.
My father would always tell us, God is not holding you accountable for how people treat you, but he's holding you accountable for how you treat them.
He was never about filthy lucre. He did it God's way. A servant leader. What passion for souls.
Said he was a tender of sheep. He was insignificant on a small island. But when God calls you, it's not your beginning, it's your ending.
The challenge we have is that he's going ahead of us. But we're reminded by scripture that he has gone, as the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas said, to a building not made with hands.
Bishop Farrington's passing was particularly shocking for Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, as a veteran clergyman was just hours away from receiving the Bahamas' national honor of Order of Merit.
I salute Bishop Farrington's contribution to the organized activity and discipline of young people. Through his ministry and mentorship, he is heralded as a hero in Andros, New Providence, Grand Bahama, the Turks and Caicos Islands, Jamaica, Florida, and the wider world. He knew the value of youth because he lived his full potential, even as a young man.
We celebrate all of the family members who loaned him to us, to all of the parishioners who undergirded this family as they serve, and we say thank God for you.
At his passing, Bishop Farrington was the diocesan bishop of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos State Council for the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. Presiding Bishop Theodore Brooks touted Farrington's great legacy.
I've heard y'all say day in and day out today, he's fought a good fight. I've heard y'all say about the things that he'd done. I've heard y'all say about the people that he encouraged. I've heard you say about the folk that he impacted in this island. In the greater islands around here, the Bahamian Islands. Amen. But how many are following in his footsteps? How many are going to adhere to the teachings and to what he espoused?
Bishop Farrington will be laid to rest at the Irma Williams Cemetery in Cargo Creek, Andros, this Saturday, October 29th at 11 a.m. Altavis Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Hey, it's your honorary pump attendant here to educate you on the do's and don'ts at the service station. Here's what you don't do. Do not pull up from the pump without first checking that the nozzle has been removed from your car. Because if you pop this, that's about $600,000 to $30,000 to replace. These things ain't cheap. What you want to do is make sure that the nozzle has been removed, or just wait for the universal sign, which is the double tap.
Samantha's always on point. She doesn't miss a thing. When she signs up for any insurance policy, she reads all the fine print. She knows what's covered, what's not covered, and she's aware of her deductibles. When it comes to insurance, it pays to know your policy. Review every insurance policy so you know what you're covered for. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
For hurricane season, we got impact windows and doors. For protection, just come to our store. Plus we got tiles to pretty up your walls and your floors. We'll help you brighten up for that big bad storm. Porcelain tiles, blank tiles, mosaic tiles, a variety of styles. Before teens get right, they gotta be rough. That's why we got the best deals in the whole Bahamas. Hey, hey.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
Join up for life insurance. Secure the ones that you love. Join up with Family Guardian. We offer full protection. Join the family. Join the family. Family Guardian. Protect the ones you love. A friend that you can trust. Family Guardian. Good to grow. Keeping you in the know. Keeping you in the know. God, it's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow. It's good enough to eat, then it's good to grow.
The Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, better known as BAMSI, is developing a layer program at its North Andros campus with the ultimate goal of reducing imports of eggs and chicken. This is in addition to a multi-million-dollar greenhouse park program that will be introduced on several islands, including Exuma, Eleuthera, Cat Island, and Andros.
The layer program is a part of the initiative that the minister is pushing with the poultry production here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So we're trying to stay in line with that and just do our part at BAMSI as far as training and, you know, seeing exactly what type of birds would be the best for our climate, which ones would be the best for the most production and long life.
This week, Minister of Agriculture, Marine Resources and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry and Member of Parliament for North Andros Leonardo Lightbourne, and other BAMSI officials took a tour of BAMSI. The minister says he's pleased with the progress thus far.
You know, we're here now currently in a new layer house that will be automated cage system here at BAMSI, which also ties into technology and innovation in food security as well. So I'm excited. We have a lot of things to do, a lot more to accomplish. We're a few weeks away from opening this house here. We also have a piggery and other areas here, agriculture that's starting to blossom at BAMSI. So I'm glad that the vision of the former Prime Minister and of the current Prime Minister for food security is coming to fruition, and BAMSI will continue to play a critical role, and I can't wait for what's to come.
Mr. Young says he hopes that BAMSI can assist with research and data collection to significantly reduce the imports of eggs by 2025 and create a self-sufficient egg production industry for the Bahamas. Keeping you in the know with Good to Grow, I'm Candia Smith.
Shell
Unleaded improves your fuel economy, giving increased miles per gallon, allowing you to do more of what you really want. Special additives used in Shell Unleaded improve your engine's efficiency. So go further with Shell Unleaded. Venture out to beaches, Junkanoo, and festivals and bring home memories that will last a lifetime. Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse with my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet so fast I could download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast, I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
The Ministry of Education today launching the Primary School Language Arts and Computer Studies curricula for grades 4 and 5. Education Minister, the Honourable Glenys Hannah Martin, says the curriculum development initiative is necessary in order to keep current with the changing demands of students who have to compete on a global stage and to ensure local values and customs are preserved. Well, dozens of young people joined the ranks of others recognized for stellar achievements throughout the Bahamas in areas of sports, education, community development, religion, and beyond. With more from last night's highlights, return to our Lloyd Allen.
Dozens turning out on the big night to support the youngsters. The top prizes, a cup presented in honor of the Director, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, and the Prime Minister.
All of you here who have been selected to just be nominees, trust me, you've done well.
Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis noting during the presentation that youth in today's spotlight represent future leaders.
I want to congratulate Minister Boleg and his team at the Ministry of Youth and Sports who continue this tradition of recognizing and inspiring. Events like this do inspire our young and sets up as a model of what we can be and what we're all about.
The winners?
And the Director's Cup goes to Kaylin Johnson.
Winners, player percentage. The Prime Minister's Cup, or the Prime Minister's Award, goes to Rashad Cunningham.
We had a chance to catch up with Rashad, who says he has long been passionate about working with young people in the community and is grateful for the recognition.
I'm an educator, first of all, and I've been teaching for over 8 years. And in the community of Anglerston, I have definitely given up myself to all of my students for the many years that I was there. Not only just that, but also with giving back, with buying books and getting other resources for students in school, also doing tutoring outside of school on weekends, Saturdays and Sundays with kids that cannot afford it, because I understand that those children in what we call the inner city area are those that never get that attention that they need. So now I'm expanding that, and I'm now at Centerville Primary, where I'm spreading my wings to even more children while keeping those kids from the Anglerston under my wings.
And 10-year-old Taylene Nichols, who received an award for her outstanding performance in sports, is equally appreciative to be considered among the nation's best.
I really love to swim. I broke the national 8 and under championships, and now I'm in 9-10, and hopefully I could do it again.
Former youth officer Ingrid Sayers DeVoe and the late Anita Doherty were recognized for their work in youth development. Officials say while this year's ceremony was the first since the pandemic, the hope is to widen the ministry's reach in identifying youngsters nationwide who continue to go the extra mile in advancing the best in creativity, service, and development. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Lloyd Allen.
Spouse of the Prime Minister, Anne-Marie Davis, encouraging members of the public to support the work of the Bahamas Association for the Physically Disabled. The clarion call coming after Davis recently toured the Dolphin Drive facility in celebration of their 50th year of service.
Children need love.
encouragement and care. And this facility for the last 50 years has been encouraging all these kids with disability to support themselves, to be independent, to make them feel loved, and to create whatever they can, and to be proud of themselves. And that is very important for all human beings to feel that way.
For half a century, the Bahamas Association for the Physically Disabled has been a pillar in the community, assisting young people with special needs, a cause which, according to Mrs. Davis, should be dear to everyone's heart. Well, South Beach community connecting for a worthy cause this weekend. Our Charles Fisher spoke with the area's Member of Parliament on the initiative.
Connect for Cancer is a fun run walk event, really, that the constituency office in South Beach is initiating. And in planning for the event, we caught the eye of the Cancer Treatment Center of Americas. We engaged them, and without hesitation, they came on board as our primary sponsor. They are significantly involved in our community with regards to treatment for cancer patients, and of course advice for cancer patients here in our country, and so we're extremely happy to have them. All of us know somebody who has been impacted by cancer, or some family that has been impacted by cancer in our society, and the interest as far as participation has been great. Persons want to come out and participate. The truth of the matter is we decided that we wanted to ensure that this first cohort, or the initial event, we would be able to give back to the Cancer Society, and so we've reached out to two organizations, to Sister Support Group as well as the Cancer Society of the Bahamas, and while the event is a free event, we're asking persons to donate to either of those organizations as bountifully as they possibly can.
Registration can be done online at mysouthbeach242.com.
Just a fun run walk. It's also a mini health expo. We plan to have a doctor's corner here in the village, in what we call the runners village. A doctor's corner where you can have pressure checks, cholesterol checks, etc. We have BTVI has come on as a partner as well, and where the students from BTVI will be offering massages for those persons that would have, just completed the race. So something relaxing for them. It gives them an opportunity to continue their training. And of course, the marquee event, we have we have Chef Addie Farrington from the University of the Bahamas, who will be cooking on the spot and be showing us how to cook some of our favorite Bahamian meals, but in a healthier way.
As for the route?
5:45, we have a warm-up. The warm-up session will be led by J Fitness, and he'll get everybody warmed up and ready to go. It's a 3K and a 5K. So the route is from the beach onto East Street, up heading north on East Street, up to Zion Boulevard, west on Zion Boulevard, to Blue Hill Road, back to the beach.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
Solomon's, we're all about family. We believe in quality brands and giving you what you need and more for every occasion. Our store is filled with items for the entire family, celebrating everyday living for you and those you love. Shopping is now more rewarding than ever with My Solomon Smart Rewards. Shop Solomon's because family matters.
Almost every journey starts with your car. We spend most of the early stages of our lives anticipating getting our first set of wheels. When that moment finally comes, let AID be there for all your auto needs. Make it yours by accessorizing, maintaining, and repairing your car with AID. Whether you're a professional mechanic, a recent graduate, a full-time mom, or an I can fix that kind of guy. Or if you're completely clueless about what your car needs, AID will assist in providing a large variety of auto parts, a diagnostic center, and great customer service. For all life's auto journeys, we're here. AID, all you really need and more.
Link up with BTC and call it one and done. Link up with BTC and call it one and done.
I'm Corval Pyfrom. BTC's work to inspire our youth continues. We are thrilled to kick off another exciting year with Junior Achievement Bahamas, and through our BTC JA company, we are working with a new group of talented, ambitious students. And after a 2-year-long hiatus, well, all around, it is great to be back.
This year, BTC is hosting us in a new space. We have a new group of students. We have a new vision for our company, but it all boils down to succeeding, and that is what we intend to do with our group of students who came from almost every school is represented with BTC's Junior Achievement Company. So we are truly excited to host our students and to transform them from followers into leaders.
BTC has impacted me by getting me out of my shell. I wouldn't say I was shy, but I was kind of shy when I first came in this company last year. And I am very excited about being a part of this JA company this year.
This upcoming year, I'm looking forward to winning Product of the Year again and just working with my colleagues just as last year. And I'm glad that we're in person this time, so we have more of a one-on-one and get to know each other more and can work better.
We've been waiting for this for so long, and after 2 years, it just feels like I started the very first time in BTCJ. It's exciting to meet all the new kids coming in face to face.
Our BTC advisors are ready and the students are excited. Here's to making this another award-winning BTC JA year as we inspire, prepare, and succeed. These are still the moments that move us. I'm Corval Pyfrom. Be well and be back here next. BTC Connection.
Was recently donated to C.R. Walker Senior High School by RF Bank and Trust. The donation is expected to assist the school with establishing the Project Greenhouse initiative, which will introduce students to farming tools, techniques, and technology, and expose students to non-traditional careers in science. Principal of C.R. Walker Senior High School, Princess Fox, said that the initiative is another step towards helping students become productive citizens.
This is yet another step in the fight to help our students find success in school and leave these hollowed halls with skills that would help them become confident, productive citizens of our nation.
Vice President of Financial Advisory Services at RF Bank and Trust, David Van Onselen, expressed that the initiative shows students that charitable work is an important part of operating a business.
When you have a look at the types of initiatives that could come from the greenhouse, not only are we happy that it's a sort of out of classroom and very sort of practical way of learning. But hopefully it also sort of sends back a message to the pupils that, you know, the business landscape has changed, and responsibilities like corporate social responsibility are an important factor of wanting to hopefully start your own business one day.
The project is expected to enhance the students' knowledge about food sustainability as the initiative introduces the concept of farm to table by introducing students to growing crops for practical studies and sales.
I've been blown away. Totally love the vibe to really be able to lead this process. I feel a great sense of gratitude around being able to have Shelly to be here with us.
This event was one that you had to be here.
You know, any time that I am able to spend time with especially young women who have aspirations and things they want to achieve, it is just always wonderful. So this has been a terrific experience today.
Opa!
NBA League Pass is the coolest way to watch the hottest game there is. When threes rain down and superstars heat up. When clutch jumpers splash and your team is fire. You'll be there for up to 40 games a week. Any way you want to watch. NBA League Pass. Order now.
The pandemic has been not so kind to so many people in our community. And when we think about how we fared coming off the pandemic, we're trying to find meaningful ways to continue to give back.
So with the Together platform, it allows people to be able to give back, to make small donation, whether it's $20 or whatever you can give, to be able to give and to help those people who are in need.
Mario thought he could have his cake and eat it too. He almost found out the hard way that if you don't insure your home for the full replacement value, when it comes time to make a claim, you won't get the full payout. It's called the condition of average. If your $200,000 home is destroyed by a hurricane, but you only insured it for $100,000, half the value, you'll only get half of that $100,000 payout. Actually, less than that, because there's also a deductible which will be deducted from your payout. Check your home insurance policy for the condition of average clause and ask your insurance agent or broker how condition of average would affect you. This message was brought to you by the Insurance Commission of the Bahamas, protecting the interests of policyholders.
PD, not at all a new international credit agency, but the first letters of information, prioritization, and discipline. The three key focus areas if the Bahamas, or Bahamians for that matter, is serious about economic independence. Addressing Exuma's recent business outlook, Fidelity Bank and Trust CEO Gowan Bowe noted that one of the greatest challenges boils down to a pretty simple theory: earning a nickel while spending a dime.
We need to have an understanding of where we want to be in 5-10 years as an individual and as businesses. We need to look at the expenditures that we've now just recorded and focus our attention on, well, what is it that we need to actually invest in to achieve the objectives that we are setting out? If we look at the money that's coming in, there was a relatively modest individual that I met years ago that says, it's not what you earn, it's what you save. And his focus was really on saying that even if it was coins on a daily basis, those elements add up.
Self-development, he says, should also be prioritized in order to move forward.
But we don't work for the purposes of enjoying life. We work to earn money. We earn money in order to save. We save in order to invest, and we invest in order to build wealth. Now, by those elements, what do I mean? That is really saying that if I set out a plan, so my P was prioritization and plan, if I know where I want to be in 5 and 10 years, I know what I have to do to protect my job or to protect my business, I know what I have to sacrifice because I've written it down, then it allows me to focus my attention on moving away from what I'm going to call the rat race, where we're just constantly in a cycle that we consider to be vicious, because we're saying that we're living hand to mouth. We have to have the prioritization that says some savings get set aside.
Well, at this juncture, we do apologize for not having Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean with us tonight due to technical difficulties, but we do invite you to stay with the Bahamas tonight. We return after this break.
You'll be all smiles after shopping the aisles at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Ronzoni ready-cut macaroni, 16-ounce, $2.29. Rainbow mackerel, 15-ounce, $1.69. Cream-O-Land Homo milk, 1 gallon, $6.99. Whole chicken wings, $1.99 per pound. Generic bleach, 1 gallon, $3.99. Donate your change to help feed the Humane Society animals at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
We just got the new fiber internet speed bump. Now my internet's so fast I can watch 2 4K movies, play video games, and browse on my computer at the same time.
Yeah, my internet's so fast I can download a whole season of shows before my noodles run cooking.
Mine's so fast when I go to church online, service actually over early.
Mine's so fast when I'm working from home, 5 o'clock, come before 3.
Sound like you got this BTC fiber internet speed bump like me.
But it's so fast I had to have it.
Current fiber internet bundle customers now have as much as 3 times the speed. Totally free. Link up with BTC.
A household name carries a lot of approval. And when you're shopping for household, you need a household name. For 50 years, Bahamas Welding and Fire has been a household name in outdoor grills and kitchen appliances. Need to beautify that yard space for your grill? BWF has it covered. For the industrial worker, you can find a complete line of tools and safety equipment. For the welder of any level or budget, you can find the right machinery to power everything. There's no shortage on power with a wide array of generators. And safety is everyone's responsibility. Find everything needed to protect everyone on the work site. Over 40,000 square feet of shopping space in a convenient location. Bahamas Welding and Fire. We're more than just our name. Located number 13 Wilton Street. The Sports Report is brought to you by Hoop Fest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall G. Isaacs Gym. The best in U.S. and Bahamian high school basketball.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Buddy Hield posting a season-high 24 points last night, but even that wasn't enough as the Indiana Pacers dropped to 1-4 with a 124-109 loss to the Chicago Bulls. The Bahamian sharpshooter was 8 of 16 from the field, 7 for 12 from behind the three-point arc. Buddy and the Pacers back on court tomorrow in Washington against the Wizards. Jonquil Jones playing her first game of the season in the Turkish League for Mersin. And what a debut it was. The 28-year-old tallied a double-double, 26 points and 13 rebounds in a 73-70 win over Emlak. Jonquil's performance also earning her Player of the Week honors. The Bahamian, of course, coming off another championship series appearance in the WNBA. But when the new season begins, some changes will be coming for the Connecticut Sun as head coach Kurt Miller is no longer with the team, heading west to take up the same position with the Los Angeles Sparks. Now, Jonquil won't be the only one with the new leader at the helm. Jazz Chisholm and the Miami Marlins have a new manager as well. After letting Don Madeline go, Skip Schumacher has been named the 16th manager in franchise history. This will be the first managerial job for Schumacher, who played 11 seasons in the majors with the Cardinals, Dodgers, and Reds from 2005 to 2015. The Nassau Rowing Club hosting a talent identification day on Saturday between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. at the C.R. Walker Senior High School Auditorium. Kyle Shea is the club's founder.
The Talent Identification Day is designed to measure raw power output and athletic potential in a very objective way. We will be using the ergometers, which are indoor rowing machines. Rowers will be taught to go through the basic rowing technique. They will then undergo about a 25 to 30 second 100 meter test and then about a 2-minute long 500 meter test. From there, we are going to rank the top scoring athletes and then invite them to participate in our Opportunities and Access Rowing Squad initiative.
She went on to speak about who all is eligible to take part.
We are looking for government school students in grades 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So really focusing on the 13 to 16, 17, 18-year-old segment.
As for the end goal of the initiative,
this is designed to be the starting point for a competitive squad so that they can go off to university, compete there, and hopefully form the future Olympic rowing crews for the Bahamas in the 2028 games and beyond.
The Bahamas Lawn and Tennis Association's 2022 Senior Nationals, all history now. Corey Francis left his mark winning the men's 55 singles and the men's 55 doubles with Stephen Thompson.
It was very challenging and tough. It was exciting. It was a very good tournament. I'm pleased to say that I played the best tennis of my life this weekend. I stuck to my game plan, and cut down on a lot of unforced errors, picked up on my first service percentage, and just tried to move the ball around the court.
France is also making his mark as a coach with the City Community Tennis Club.
It's been going on at the new courts where I'm at now in Sunset Park for the last 5 years, and we had one break because of COVID. The program is to develop young kids into better people, teach them discipline, how to get along with each other, and to also learn the game of tennis. That would probably help them through life.
Following a 2-match series in Florida over the weekend, the UB Mingos back home last night competing in the Province Volleyball Association. Taking on the Lady Warhawks, the Mingos kept it close in the first set, forcing deuce before an untimely error cost them. In the second set, the Mingos stayed within 4 points until the Warhawks pulled ahead to win the set. Same story in the third set. Mingos close, but it would be the Warhawks closing it out in straight sets, 26-24, 25-18, and 25-12.
The girls have showed a lot of maturity. They're starting to understand that they could play at this level. It's only a matter of them now building confidence in themselves and realize that, hey, if I play hard, chances are I can win. We have to learn that we can't go to the service line and serve 1 or 2, and then allowing our opponents to go to the line and serve 4 and 5. If you do the match, we'll always be trailing. So I think once they realize that they can play and perform at this level, we will see a better outcome in our future matches.
That's all the time for sport. To check on weather, up next.
The Sports Report was brought to you by Hoop Fest in Paradise, December 16th to the 17th at the Kendall Geologics Gymnasium, the best in U.S. and Bahamian high school basketball.
Nobody can talk about your business or special event like you can. Do you want a way to bring your message to a large audience? You need a live ZNS radio interview. 5 minutes of airtime to let listeners know directly from you all about your company, product, or upcoming event. And now, for a limited time only, get 5 interviews for 25% off or 10 interviews for 35% off. Call the ZNS sales office today, 502-3800, and get on the radio.
Time now for weather.
In the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, high pressure is generating pleasant weather across the Bahamas, while a gentle to fresh breeze is blowing throughout the islands. For all areas, the weather fair and mild with the chance of a passing shower tonight. Partly to mostly sunny and hot with isolated showers and the thunderstorm mainly in the central and southeastern islands tomorrow. There's a small craft caution coming into effect late tomorrow morning in the northwest and central islands. Winds northeasterly at 10 to 15 knots, increasing 15 to 20 knots tomorrow in the northwest and central Bahamas, 10 knots or less in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet, building 4 to 6 feet tomorrow in the northwest and central Bahamas, 1 to 3 feet in the southeast Bahamas. And once again, we do apologize for the absence of our meteorologist, chief meteorologist rather, Basil Dean, and our sign language interpreter. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.